Welcome to the Fitpreneurs, the show that will help you flex your business muscles so you can make more money and live the life you really want. No more complaining, whining, or being a wimp. It's time to pump up your fitness business and push yourself beyond your comfort zone. So no girly men or lazy ladies allowed. It's time for me to do some push-ups and turn things over to your host, Simon Lovell.
Hey, this is Simon Lovell and welcome to the latest episode of the Fitpreneurs. And I'm super excited by my special guest today, Jeremy Ferry, who is going to be telling us lots of tips, advice around how to take your business to six figures and also his inspirational story. Now, as always, please head to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Also, if you haven't checked out the book yet, the new encyclopedia of modern fitness business building is always there to help you, guide you. But also head to the website, fitpreneurs.com. We're constantly updating it. New videos, short clips, webinars, trainings, new blog posts. Keep yourself up to speed with what's going on in the industry and also help yourself to grow your business so you can impact more lives. Talking of changing lives, Jeremy, so excited by having you on today. Why don't you tell everyone where you're from and how your journey into fitness started?
Yeah, so I'm Jeremy, and I'm from Springfield, Illinois, born and raised, and how my journey started. So I started off my journey by joining a high school sport, football, and I joined this because I'd never been athletic at all. I grew up poor, grew up in a bad neighborhood. I was actually encouraged to stay inside. So athletics weren't really my thing. I got into them because I was bullied through middle school, and I wanted to find some way to better myself so that didn't happen. And I heard of weightlifting, and I knew that would be my end into changing myself, and hopefully, if nothing else, getting to the point to where I could protect myself. So I got into high school football, and that totally changed everything. I got in contact with a local gym owner who was an excellent personal trainer, and he taught me quite a few things, and he was my first mentor. So after mentoring with him and learning the tricks of the trade and everything that he knew, after about 6 years of this, I got contacted by my friend David. He was one of my best friends in high school. I was going to get a new phone because my phone was acting up on me. I had an upgrade, so I went to AT&T, and as I was leaving, he called me on it, and he asked me what I was doing. I told him, I just got a new phone. He goes, no, I want to know what you're doing, like for work, for a job, for life. And I told him that I was currently a carpenter, and I got done with this really crappy job. I mean, I was actually, as I was talking to him, I was coughing up black stuff in my lungs because we weren't given respirators from, to do what we needed to do. So he told me that I should look into being a personal trainer, and I told him, I don't know enough to do this. He told me that I did, so I just followed through. I just, gave these people a call, and I got my interview, and that's how I got into personal training.
Nice. And did you always want to become a six-figure trainer? Did you always want to ascend your income, or how did things start out?
Simon, I honestly, living below my means for a long time, I always wanted to make more money, but I didn't see myself making six figures as a trainer, no. And then just constantly working at it, I never got to where I was making six figures. It was just, I probably topped out at $40,000 a year. I got in contact with you, and everything changed.
Mm. When did you get into the transition of having your own place versus working out on your own? How long did that happen? How long did that take to happen?
That took me every bit of 6 years. That took me all. I mean, me opening my own place was very recent. Mm. And it happened because I was in a very good situation, at least what I thought was a good situation. And that was me freelance personal training at a gym. And it was a very good deal. I was making, if I could book clients, and I was making $50 an hour. So it felt good to me. And things went sour there. And I ended up needing to find a new place to train. And then I had, living below my means for so long, I built up a nice amount of money. So I decided it was time to go open things up on my own.
Nice. And how did that feel when you opened your doors?
Incredible. Well, scary too. It's one thing to, get your own place. It's another thing to get your own place in that first week, see that business isn't quite what you thought it was going to be.
Right. And I think that a lot of people have that misconception, don't they? That, sometimes they get fed clients and then you got to, you might want to open your own location, but then you got to do everything on your own. You got to generate the leads, you got to generate the business. It's a whole new ball game. But it's scary, but exciting.
Yeah. It is exciting. It's exciting to know that I don't have anyone to answer to except for, just to pay my bills. I mean, that was huge. Most problems that I've had in business so far had been working, just trying to work with other people. I usually found that I'd end up working with people who were very, like demanding and egotistical, and it always drained on me. And I didn't like it. So opening my own business and knowing that, I could do what I want with my business and grow it the way I wanted to felt great.
Mm. So tell us about the 6 months or year leading up to the Fitpreneurs. Where were you kind of emotionally? Where was your business? What was going on? What was that turning point to decide to reach out?
It's a crazy story. So I had just been let go from the gym that I was training at, and I had been wanting to open my own place. So in doing this, I decided that I would go be a personal trainer at another gym, and I was in the transition period between getting this opened up and that. So I had just moved in about 2 months prior to contacting you into the gym, and I hired another personal trainer, and she had never been a trainer before. She just got her certificate and started, and she hired a business mentor. And when she hired this business mentor, her business just took off. And she took off and did her own thing. So I was left with a large amount of rent to pay and no one really to help me pay it. So I immediately was in panic mode. And I was doing good at bringing in clients, but I was topped out really as far as schedule was concerned. That and the leads coming in weren't enough to sustain what I needed to pay every month. My overhead was going to tank. I would have had no option but to close down shop after 2 months of being open.
Wow. So what changed? What happened?
I got in contact with you. I got online. It's funny because one of the questions that I was asked by you was, how long did it take you to decide this is what you want to do? It took me 2 days. I hopped on, got on a phone call with. I hopped on your website, got in a phone call with Tom, and he got me all. He gave me all the information for what you do and what I would have needed to change to become essentially a 6-figure trainer. And I got very interested, and I made the decision to step into Fitpreneur Mastery.
Yeah. And so if you could give advice to any trainers watching, what are some of the most critical things that you think, success principles that you now adopt that help you to shift to, 6 figures and beyond and impact more people? Because this isn't just about the money either. This is about the amount of change that you're creating in the world and the people that you're helping.
Yes.
What would be some things that you would have loved to have known back then?
I would have, not to be afraid, not to let fear stifle what you want to accomplish. A lot of times we'll let all the things that we think about, I can't make this action yet because I'm afraid of what will happen, or maybe it's not the perfect circumstance to, enact what you need to enact, or, you're afraid to make a chance or take a chance. And that is not going to, you need to change that. If you continuously live in fear, you are not going to push and be able to grow your business to where you want to grow it. And that was one of the biggest turning points. I lived in fear continuously, just scared everything would work out for me.
Was your fear around, because I find that fear can often show itself up in failure, but also in success. So which one was more dominant for you?
It was failure. I mean, it was being afraid to fail. I mean, I was more afraid of that than anything, because here I was. I spent my entire life savings to open this place, and all within 2 months, I could see it going away. So taking that step to grow this was a no-brainer for me. But I needed to know how to do it, and I needed to just take that step. That was the fear of the unknown can be huge too, but knowing that you have no other option is very powerful.
Yeah. And so when it came to the fear of failure, what specifically, what were you fearing? What would you fear would happen if you failed?
What would I fear would happen if I failed? All of my clients and I would have no place to go. Again, at the end of the day, it's more about, I started this not to make a large amount of money. I started this to help people. I knew I had a gift, and I knew I could reach out and change people's lives if I continued down my path. Now, here I am opening my own business and able to do this in the comfort of what I wanted to do and in the comfort of my own place, and I was about to let that go. So not allowing myself to do that. That was the fear. That's what I feared. That's what I feared. Just knowing that I took this step, I was about to totally, utterly fail within 2 months.
Mm. And let's talk about the rapid change. Let's talk about your income before you started and then how quickly it ascended and moving forward.
Ascension and how it changed. It all started with mindset. The All Fired Up program really helped me. So daily meditation, continuously waking up and refocusing myself and not allowing fears of the day or fears of the unknown to change what I needed to do. Knowing that hard work in general was going to get me there, and not allowing fears to take hold. That's what I feel a lot of this is based around.
Yeah.
Is inaction and fear.
And how did your income change over there, and how quickly?
Drastically. I mean, I made an additional $3,000, I think, within the first 4 weeks. And that was the only reason it took me that long was because I was hesitating on taking all the steps that I needed to take. Had I just implemented what I needed to implement and what I was instructed to implement right when I got that information, probably would have gotten a lot quicker results a lot faster. But I did end up making quite a considerable amount more money than I would have.
What would a big change? Go on, sorry. Went from maybe $3,000 a month, assuming all my clients showed up for their sessions, to $9,000 to $10,000 a month, and eventually where I am now. Yeah, which then got you the invitation into the Mastermind. How did that feel then, taking that next step and jumping up to the next level where you became a 6-figure trainer and you were in a different peer group?
Man, I was excited. I actually made that transition on my 28th birthday. So I was extremely excited. It was like my birthday gift to myself. And surrounding yourself with like-minded people is huge as well. And seeing the conversations happening at that level were totally different from the ones happening at the level below. So making that transition definitely pushed me into making more moves to become more successful. I went in and hired a personal assistant, and now I've got another personal trainer on board as well.
Mm. How has your kind of daily routine and how you show up changed since before you started, the Fitpreneurs and what you were doing previously? Because I feel that in order to shift to that next level, you have to start changing you as a person, right? I know for me personally, in order to move the Fitpreneurs forward, I have to do things differently myself personally so that the business can facilitate that.
It's all about being centered, and you taught me that. So making sure that I meditate daily, putting myself in the right mind frame, actually preparing for when people come in to talk, consults or transformation sessions, making sure that I'm taking care of myself. If you're not taking care of yourself, and if I'm not self-aware and aware of where my state is, then I'm not performing to the best of my ability. So meditation helps with that. So does reading. I did download the app Audible, and I listened to a couple of books on there. And that has greatly changed, how I feel throughout the day.
Mm. Would you say your level of happiness has gone up over the time?
Yes. And it's made me, my level of happiness has increased. And it's made me, now I'm helping more people than I ever in all 6 years of training. I'm more I feel more secure. I'm not worried about bills every month. I know that I can take on things and not worry about them. I can take on, new payments, whether that be going and getting, whether I need to buy something around the house. Like, let's say your mower stops working. Things like that would have bothered me before. It doesn't anymore. Mm-hmm. I know that I have the extra income to be able to not stress about this. And happiness is definitely improved.
Did you feel, I mean, it may not be true, but did you feel that some of the stress that you had in the business previously kind of overlapped to the client somewhat?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, in what world am I going to show up in a negative space, in a negative mentality, and try to help people? And that's what I was doing, essentially. Not that I meant to, but because of all the stress and things that I wasn't taking care of were overflowing into my life and into my business. So not taking care of myself and not being aware of the state that I'm in and not being happy and positive was definitely flowing into my clients' results.
Hmm. And what was the big part of the Fitpreneur Mastery program that got you that helped you the most? Was it the accountability? Was it the lead generation? Was it the systems? What part kind of really helped you?
The accountability is huge. The systems are important, yes, but it's the accountability and it's also your coaching. I mean, when it came down to it, I had to leave a relationship that I was in with someone that I deeply cared about, but it wasn't working. And that was stopping a lot of my progress. And you don't think of things like this. You could have given me the business model and I would have not been able to do anything with it due to my situation.
I think you've hit on such an important point, which is your environment and your personal relationships and even stuff going on with your family or, relationships. It affects everything. So I think that's such a big lesson for anyone watching this. The conditions of your personal life affect the conditions of your business.
Yeah.
Everything is energy, because if the energy is brought down in a relationship for one reason or another, and it might not be the other person's fault, it just might be a combination of things, and that can affect, how much drive you have, how much passion you have, how much resilience you have to push through to the next level, to want to inspire and grow and be the very best version of you. So how has things happened now that you made that difficult but important step?
How do I put this? And it's nothing against her because she's a wonderful person. I feel a lot more stress-free. I can focus 100% on this business and what I want to accomplish with this. It's just once I made that decision to do that, everything changed. I brought in the most income I'd ever brought in that month, and I put things together that I'd been putting off because I was, my energy was elsewhere. My focus was elsewhere when it needed to be here. So doing that step and making that change was huge.
But I also want to make it clear that sometimes, we're not saying everyone needs to end their relationship. It's ending a relationship that's not supporting you.
Yeah.
Nice. So moving forward, what's exciting that's coming up this year, this next 12 months? What are you excited by? What opportunities do you see? And what would be some advice that you would say to other personal trainers watching this?
I'm excited for the Platinum Mastermind coming up here soon. I'm excited to get to meet you in person. And then I'm excited for growing this business. I just got a new personal trainer on board. I'm excited for, being able to, accept her into this business and give her clientele and help her change more lives. Hopefully bring on another personal trainer after that. And, just developing this business as far as having more income to, do the things that I want to do with renovations and being able to make this place look amazing. And then I really want to be able to take this newfound wealth that I have and give back to the community. I've got a couple of programs I'd like to roll out that I think would be very beneficial. I'd like to start a monthly fundraiser for charities around the area. And then I'd also like to start up program where I'm actually training and mentoring young kids who don't have a whole lot.
Nice. Wonderful. What fulfills you? What makes you happy?
Helping people. Absolutely. And keeping the fact that I am a very compassionate person in the forefront of my mind and allowing that to come through in everything that I do, that makes me happy.
Nice.
Doing nice things for other people.
And strategy-wise, what are some strategies that have really worked for you, and things that, if someone's watching this saying, look, I just want some lead gen strategy. I just want something that I can help me attract more clients, immediately. I want to generate 10 more clients. What would your advice be to anyone watching this?
Oh, man. First of all, be genuine. Be genuine in everything that you do. When you put content out, which I would if you're not putting regular content out, I would highly, highly, highly suggest doing that. Content is everything. Once people see that you actually do offer something and you are changing lives and you are who people think you are, that's going to start piquing interest, and that's going to get people to message you. That's going to get people to email you. That's going to get people to call you. Be interesting. Put yourself out there. Let people know who you are and what you do.
How did ending the relationship, just out of interest, affect your content production?
How did that affect my content production? I'm sure it affected everything, Simon. I can't give you I put out more content. I know I did. I can't give you a definite, I put out 10 more videos a week.
No, but in terms of the quality of what you were doing, in terms of the energy into the content. Oh,
I was much happier. Much happier. That comes out. If you have your energy drained every day, not due to a person, but due to any kind of negative circumstance that you have yourself in, that's going to show through. You can't hide that. That's going to come out in everything that you do. That's going to come out in, how you talk to people, how you conduct business. You can't hide that. That's not something you can just put a blanket over and assume that it doesn't exist. So it definitely changed the energy that I brought to content and the energy that I brought to training.
Now, you've done fantastically well. You've achieved, you're building your income, you're growing your wealth, you're helping more people, but we still have things that we struggle with. What are some things that you still struggle with that are just, I need to improve in this area? Because I don't want people watching this to think that it's all roses, because it's not. It still takes hard work, determination, and we still have sometimes fears and stuff that we've got going on. So, what's some things that you're looking to improve upon next year?
So in my opinion, it's all about self-development and allowing myself to be the compassionate person that I am. And what I mean by that is I can find myself some days not allowing myself to care the way I need to care for whatever reason. Maybe because I'm afraid that someone's going to take advantage of me. Maybe I'm afraid that that it won't work out. Maybe someone will think my compassion's not genuine. Just that is one thing that I've struggled with, especially this week. And I'm getting back on track with. That's something I need to do. Just be able to show the compassionate person that I am. And I believe that being genuine and staying true to my values and setting boundaries for myself is going to be huge.
Yeah.
And just doing that alone is going to help propel this forward.
I think you brought up something really important, which is the phrase getting back on track. And I think that having mentorship and coaching, I don't know, definitely for myself, has really helped me to get back on track quicker. And I think so many people are off track with what their true purpose is and their true alignment. And what you've really done is got back in alignment. And that's come from the most difficult decisions that you've made. Let's talk about that for a minute. Being in alignment, yeah. Yes. And it was hard to make the kind of decisions that I had to make because you don't want to hurt anyone. That's not the goal. You don't want to make decisions that are going to cause people pain. However, you do need to make decisions that are going to better your circumstance, because you've got to keep in mind everything you do isn't just affecting you, it's affecting everybody you come into contact with, your business, your friends, your family. So, making these decisions has aligned me to be just a better person. And being a better person is causing my business to grow. When I sit down and talk to people, they can see how genuine I am. They can see I want to help you. Before we are done talking today, you're going to know exactly how I can help you. Mm.
And it's huge. It is absolutely huge. And through the mentoring process and learning exactly what it was that was holding me back, that was a big part of this. And, you and one of your coaches, it was probably the biggest transformation, because like I said, you could have handed me the programs and that wouldn't have done me any good. I wasn't in a place to, nor do I think without that coaching, I could have put myself in a place to implement these things.
Mm.
Because no one tells you, no one tells you like, hey, this relationship that looks good on the outside is actually draining you in here. And it's not that was the information that was given to me. It's not that, I got on a call with someone one day and they said, well, you just got to break up with this person. These were things that were coming out of my mouth that I wasn't acting on.
And I think probably having the all fired up and the being as part of the program helps you to become more vulnerable. That vulnerability allows you to be more open, which allows the solutions to come because you're being more open, right? So for example, if people are very closed off, for example, and they're not being vulnerable and saying that this is a situation I've got going on in my personal life, you can't solve a solution that you have no communication for. So it's been your willingness to be vulnerable and say, look, I've got this going on, that allowed the coaches or myself to be able to come in and help solve it. And so we're on this never-ending evolution of growth. And now here's the most powerful thing. Because you've been willing to solve that for yourself, now if a client comes to you with a similar problem, you know how to tackle it. And so we can only teach from based on experience.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that, because I've been able to connect with my clients on such a deeper level now. Even people that I've been training for quite some time, I'm connecting with on a totally different level. And I'm allowing myself to become more passionate with them and open myself up and actually, be more of a mentor to them. And you're right. If you don't admit the problems that you're having and you're not honest with yourself and those around you, then you won't be able to grow.
What would be your number one business tip and your number one self-development tip for anyone watching?
Number one business tip: action. Action. Do not let any uncertainty stop you from doing what you need to do. Be 100% certain of what you need to accomplish. Go out and get it done. You're never going to have perfect circumstances. Stop trying to make sure that everything is in line for what you need to come up with. Stop trying to work on the perfect plan. Stop trying to come up with the perfect solution. It's not out there. There is no perfect anything. Go out there and act on what you know, do what you know, and just continuously do that action over and over and over, and then implement new action so you can grow that business. Action is everything. You can have everything that you need in front of you, but if you're not acting on it, you're not going to grow. And then as far as self-development, read. If you're not reading books, if you're not reading books that put you in a better state of mind, self-development books, you're not doing yourself any favors. If you're not big into reading, there's an app called Audible, and if you're not doing this, I can't stress enough how this will change your mentality. Going out and just constantly filling your mind with great things is going to make you produce great things.
Yeah, and I'll just explain to everyone why that is so. So when you read or listen to an audiobook of something positive, it might be Tony Robbins, it might be Wayne Dyer, it might be Eckhart Tolle, whatever it is, and we can talk about your favorite book in a moment. What it does is it puts different thoughts into your head, and repetitive thoughts create beliefs, and those beliefs shift your identity, and a new identity produces different results. So I'll repeat that again just for anyone watching or listening. Okay, so putting positive stuff into your head changes your thoughts. When we change our thoughts, we change our life. And, the quality of your thoughts creates the quality of your life. Those thoughts, repeated thoughts, change your belief systems, and your belief shifts your identity. And so essentially what we're trying to do continuously is build a stronger identity for ourselves. And that's really what you've done moving forward. So congratulations on that. What would be your top business book to read, and also your top self-development book that you're maybe reading right now that's great?
Simon, I've not started on, so I just picked up reading. You are the reason I picked up reading. So my top self-development book right now is Wayne Dyer's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. I can't get enough of that. Like, that's constantly playing for me. That's one of the ways I center myself. As far as business self-development books, what do you suggest?
Things like, obviously, a new encyclopedia of modern fitness business building, which is awesome, which is my book. But also, things by Seth Godin, things by Jay Abraham, on marketing. And here's the thing, it's always worth reading the book that's right at the time, because you can read general business books, I think, but you've got to decide, okay, I want to build a bigger community. Therefore, something like Tribes might be great by Jay Abraham, or, I'm struggling with, I want to generate more referrals. Therefore, a book around that particular issue. So I think oftentimes we can consume because of what you want to consume, where it's best to consume based on what you want to grow into, So yeah, I would definitely say some of those. Dude, I'm so proud of you and where you're going, what you're doing, and the impact that you're having. Any final words?
Yes. If you are listening to this and you're struggling with business, even if you're at all, if you're struggling with your fitness business and you have no idea what to do, don't give up. Don't give up whatsoever. Reach out for help. Make sure that you are doing everything it takes to get to where you need to be. Don't stop just because it's getting hard. You've got to learn how to push through. You've got to learn how to push through. If you are struggling to the point where you would like help, reach out for help. It's out there.
Yep.
I reached out to Simon. I can't tell you how much that has changed my life. Do it.
That's good stuff. Thank you, Jeremy. And as always, guys, head to fitpreneurs.com, apply for your free call. You can also check out the webinars and content and check out the book. Take it easy, Jeremy. And I'll see you on the next Mastermind call, and see you in San Diego.
See you, Simon.
Guys, thanks for the killer episode. Listen, if you want to take your fitness business to the next level, terminate your competition, create ultimate freedom, buy new houses, cars, which could blow up, travel the world, or open your own gym where you can lift really heavy weights, then head to www.thefitpreneurs.com/free call for details on how to apply for your free accelerator call. Until the next episode, hasta la vista, Fit Pros.